Picture this: Maria, a single mom, stands in the grocery store aisle, staring at her cart. Two kids tugging at her shirt, a basket full of essentials, and a pit in her stomach. The cashier rings it up, $187. But her bank account? It's staring back with a measly $200. Every dollar feels like a tightrope walk. This isn't just about groceries, it's about ballet shoes, school supplies, and the constant, nagging worry of making ends meet. Sound familiar? For millions of families, this is the harsh reality. And often, a crucial lifeline could be just within reach, if only they understood it. What if I told you there's a powerful financial tool designed to ease that burden, a benefit intended to support families like Maria's? It's called the Child Tax Credit, or CTC. And it's been a cornerstone of family economic policy for decades. But despite its profound impact, the CTC is often misunderstood, surrounded by a thick fog of myths and misinformation. These aren't just minor misinterpretations, these are misconceptions that could be costing families thousands of dollars, pushing them further into the financial abyss. Today, we're cutting through that fog, busting 5 of the biggest myths that surround the child tax credit. Our mission today isn't just to rattle off facts. We're going on a journey, a human story, to see how these myths impact real people. We'll explore the ups, the downs, and the crucial aha moments that can change lives. The CTC isn't just a number on a tax form, it's a beacon of hope for childcare, a cushion for unexpected emergencies, and a path to a more stable future. Are you ready to dive in and uncover the truth? Because understanding this credit could unlock vital resources for your family, or for someone you know. Let's kick things off with our first massive misconception, a myth so pervasive it keeps countless working families from even exploring their eligibility. The child tax credit is only for families who don't work, or are very low income. Maria, our single mom from the grocery store, actually believed this for years. I work full-time, she'd tell herself, so I probably don't qualify for these welfare-type benefits. It's a common, heartbreaking thought process rooted in misunderstanding, that implies government support is only for those at the very bottom, not for the working class grinding away every day. This myth is absolutely, unequivocally false. The child tax credit, particularly in its original design and even with some of its expanded features, is explicitly designed to support working families across a significant income spectrum. It's not a handout, it's a tax credit, often for those contributing to the tax system. In fact, many versions of the CTC have required some earned income to qualify for the full credit. It's about alleviating the financial pressure on parents who are actively participating in the workforce, balancing jobs, and raising the next generation. It's for people like Maria. Let's put some numbers to this. While the exact income thresholds have shifted over time, especially with the 2021 expansion, the core idea holds. For example, for a married couple filing jointly, the full credit has been available for incomes up to hundreds of thousands of dollars, before starting to phase out. Single filers also see generous limits. This isn't just for a niche group, this is for the backbone of America. A huge portion of working families fall squarely within these eligibility ranges, proving that the only for the very poor narrative is incredibly misleading and damaging. Maria, after years of dismissing the CTC, finally stumbled upon an online article that explained the income thresholds. Her jaw dropped. She earned a good, but not extravagant, salary. She was well within the phase-out limits. The realization hit her: she had been leaving money on the table, money that could have paid for those grocery bills, that could have eased the constant financial pressure. It was an aha moment that wasn't just about money, it was about validating her hard work, recognizing that the system could support her efforts, not just those less fortunate. Our second massive myth, a close cousin to the first, goes like this: you have to owe income tax to get the full child tax credit. This misconception often intertwines with the first, leading people to believe if they're not paying big taxes, they can't get big benefits. David, a father of 3 juggling gig economy jobs, frequently worried about this. Some years, his income fluctuated, and he ended up owing very little in taxes, or even getting a small refund. He thought, if I don't pay much tax, how could I get a credit from taxes? This idea is a dangerous trap, especially for those with lower or inconsistent incomes. Busted. This is another absolute myth. The beautiful, life-changing truth about the child tax credit for many families is its refundability. What does refundable mean? It means that even if you owe zero federal income tax, you can still receive the credit as a tax refund. Think of it like this: if you qualify for a $2,000 credit, but only owe $500 in taxes, the IRS doesn't just zero out your taxes, they send you the remaining $1,500. This is a monumental distinction that lifts millions out of poverty and provides essential funds to families with fluctuating or low taxable incomes. It's a direct infusion of cash, regardless of your tax liability. Let's clarify this with a quick comparison. Imagine two types of tax credits. A non-refundable credit can reduce your tax liability to zero, but no further. If you owe $500 and get a $2,000 non-refundable credit, your tax bill becomes $0, and the remaining $1,500 vanishes. Poof! But a refundable credit? That's entirely different. With a refundable credit, if you owe $500 and get that $2,000 credit, your tax bill goes to $0, and the government sends you a check for the $1,500 difference. This is critical for families with limited tax liability, turning a potential loss into a direct gain. For David, the gig worker, learning about refundability was a true game changer. He'd often paid very little in federal taxes, sometimes just a few $100s. He'd always assumed the CTC was therefore not for him. But realizing he could still receive a substantial refund, even if he didn't owe much tax, was revolutionary. This credit became a safety net, allowing him to put money aside for his kids' school trips or cover an unexpected medical bill. It wasn't about his tax burden anymore, it was about his family's needs. The child tax credit suddenly felt truly for his family. Alright, let's tackle a more recent, yet extremely damaging, myth that emerged during the pandemic era: advanced child tax credit payments were a loan you'd have to pay back. Remember those monthly payments that started landing in bank accounts in mid-2021? For many, it was a vital relief, but for others, it became a source of intense anxiety. Stories spread like wildfire: the government is going to take this money back. You'll owe huge taxes next year. This fear paralyzed families, causing some to opt out of the payments altogether, missing out on crucial support when they needed it most. Busted. Let's be crystal clear: the advanced child tax credit payments were not a loan. They were simply an advance on your expected credit for the year. The government, recognizing the immediate financial crunch families faced, decided to send out half of your anticipated annual CTC in monthly installments, rather than waiting for you to file your taxes. The other half would then be claimed when you filed. Think of it like a down payment. Yes, if your income or family situation changed significantly, you might have received too much, leading to a smaller refund or even a small amount owed at tax time, but this was an adjustment, not a loan repayment. The advanced payments were a game changer, but the confusion was real. In 2021, the monthly payments reached over 36 million families. Estimates suggest these payments alone lifted millions of children out of poverty. Imagine the impact of having that reliable, predictable income stream throughout the year, rather than one lump sum at tax time. While some families did experience minor adjustments at tax time due to reporting changes, the overwhelming majority received exactly what they were entitled to, providing immediate relief for everything from groceries to rent. This policy was about immediate stability, not future debt. David initially opted out of the advanced payments. His friend, a well-meaning but misinformed neighbor, convinced him it was a trap. "They'll make you pay it all back," he warned. David, worried about his fluctuating gig income, didn't want any surprises come tax season. So, he missed out on hundreds of dollars of monthly support during a period when gas prices were soaring and work was inconsistent. The emotional toll was immense. When he finally filed his taxes and saw the full credit applied, it was a moment of bitter relief, happy to get it, but frustrated by the unnecessary stress and missed opportunities from believing a myth. Our fourth myth is a big one, often used in policy debates, and it impacts how people view financial support for families. The child tax credit discourages people from working. The argument goes that if people get free money for having kids, they'll just quit their jobs. This idea suggests that parents, particularly those struggling financially, are inherently lazy or will choose government benefits over employment. This myth is not just economically dubious, it's deeply insulting to the millions of hard-working parents striving to provide for their children, often against incredible odds. Busted. The overwhelming body of evidence, from economists and social scientists, largely refutes the claim that the child tax credit discourages work. In fact, for many, it does the opposite. It provides the financial stability needed to maintain employment. Think about it, reliable funds can cover childcare costs, transportation to work, or even a car repair that keeps a parent from missing shifts. Without the CTC, some parents might be forced to cut back hours or leave jobs due to insurmountable costs, particularly childcare. The credit often acts as a work support, not a work deterrent. Let's look at the numbers. Studies on the expanded child tax credit from 2021 consistently showed minimal negative impact on parental employment decisions. Some research even suggested a slight increase in work among single mothers, potentially due to better access to childcare made possible by the credit. Any small, theoretical disincentive is vastly outweighed by the massive poverty reduction and economic stabilization benefits. We're talking about a policy that empowers families to participate more effectively in the economy, reducing reliance on other forms of assistance, not encouraging them to step away. For Maria, the CTC meant she could afford a slightly better after-school program for her youngest, allowing her to take on an extra evening shift a few times a month without feeling guilty or stressed. Before, the high cost of extended childcare made those extra hours impossible. The child tax credit didn't make her want to stop working, it made her work smarter and more sustainably. It allowed her to choose opportunities that advanced her career, rather than being trapped by the immediate, overwhelming costs of raising her children. It was a bridge to greater stability, not a pathway to dependence. Finally, we come to our fifth and perhaps most crucial myth: the child tax credit amounts and rules are permanent and always the same. This is a dangerous assumption that can lead to confusion, frustration, and missed benefits. People often hear about a new CTC or expanded CTC, then assume those benefits are locked in forever. David, our gig-working dad, still sometimes refers to the pandemic CTC, confused about whether he gets the old amount or the new amount. This constantly shifting landscape of rules and eligibility is a huge source of anxiety for families trying to plan their finances. Busted. The child tax credit is a highly dynamic policy. Its amounts, refundability, income thresholds, and even how it's distributed can, and do, change frequently. The most prominent example is the expansion under the American Rescue Plan in 2021, which dramatically increased the credit amount, made it fully refundable for that year, and introduced those monthly advanced payments. But those enhancements were temporary. They expired. This means families need to stay updated, check official IRS guidance, or consult tax professionals annually. What was true last year might not be true this year. Ignorance here can be costly. Let's compare the 2020 CTC rules with the 2021 expanded CTC to really drive this home. In 2020, the maximum credit was $2,000 per child, with only $1,400 of that being refundable per child. Fast forward to 2021, the maximum jumped to $3,600 for children under 6 and $3,000 for children aged 6 to 17, and critically, it became fully refundable for that year. Plus, those advanced monthly payments were introduced. See the dramatic difference? These weren't minor tweaks, they were seismic shifts that altered eligibility and benefit levels for millions. And then, many of those enhancements expired for 2022 and beyond. David now makes it an annual ritual to check for CTC updates. After the advanced payment confusion, he realized relying on old information was a recipe for stress and missed opportunities. Every fall, he spends an hour on the IRS website or his tax software's help section just to understand the latest changes. It's a small investment of time that pays dividends. He now advises friends and family, don't assume anything. The rules change, and it's up to us to keep informed. This proactive approach is exactly what families need to navigate the complexities of financial benefits. Stepping back, let's consider the immense impact of the child tax credit when fully utilized and understood. We've seen how busting these myths transforms individual lives, but the aggregate effect is truly staggering. When the CTC was expanded and made fully refundable in 2021, child poverty plummeted. This wasn't a coincidence, it was a direct result of effective policy combined with direct financial support to families. This is the power of the CTC when it works as intended, a massive force for good, lifting children out of hardship and giving families a fighting chance. Consider this: in December 2020, before the expanded child tax credit was fully implemented, child poverty stood at 14.8%. By December 2021, after months of advanced payments and full refundability, that figure dropped to just 5.2%. That's a reduction of over 9.6 percentage points in a single year, the lowest rate on record. This isn't just statistics, these are millions of children who had more food on the table, safer housing, and better access to healthcare and education. This credit is not merely a number on a form, it's a foundation for a brighter future. For Maria and David, these aren't abstract numbers. For Maria, understanding the CTC meant the difference between making rent and falling behind, between her kids having school supplies or going without. For David, it was the peace of mind knowing he could provide for his 3 children, even with the unpredictable nature of gig work. These aren't just financial benefits, they're emotional lifelines. They reduce stress, improve mental health for parents, and create more stable environments for children to thrive. The stakes are incredibly personal, incredibly high. The journey of busting these 5 myths isn't just about clarifying tax rules, it's about empowerment. It's about arming yourself with knowledge to navigate a complex financial landscape. When you understand how benefits like the child tax credit actually work, you can make informed decisions, plan for your family's future, and claim what you're rightfully owed. Don't let myths and misinformation stand between your family and the financial stability it deserves. Be curious, ask questions, and seek out reliable information. So, what's the clear lesson here for the average viewer? It's simple, yet profoundly important: stay informed, and never assume. Financial policies, especially complex ones like tax credits, are constantly evolving. What you thought you knew might be outdated, or worse, completely wrong. Make it a habit to check official sources like the IRS website, reputable financial news outlets, or consult a qualified tax professional every year. Don't let rumors or old information dictate your financial future. Be proactive, be diligent, and empower your family. Let's quickly recap our journey through the myths. Myth number 1: the child tax credit is only for families who don't work or are very low income. Absolutely busted. We saw how Maria learned that the CTC supports working families across a significant income range, not just those at the bottom. It's designed to help those balancing jobs and raising children, recognizing the dual burden. Don't let your income level deter you from checking your eligibility, you might be leaving significant money on the table. Myth number 2: you have to owe income tax to get the full child tax credit. Busted with gusto. We learned about the incredible power of refundability, how David's family could receive a direct cash refund even when his tax liability was low or zero. This feature is a game changer for millions, ensuring that the credit truly benefits families regardless of their tax-paying status. It's a direct economic stimulus, putting money directly into the hands of those who need it most for their children's well-being. Myth number 3: advanced child tax credit payments were a loan you'd have to pay back. Categorically busted. David's initial fear cost him crucial monthly support. These payments were an advance on your expected credit, designed to provide immediate relief, not create future debt. While adjustments can happen due to life changes, the core intent was support. Don't let fear of repayment stop you from receiving benefits designed to help you now, especially if similar programs are reintroduced. Myth number 4: the child tax credit discourages people from working. Again, busted by evidence. Maria's story showed us how the CTC enabled her to work more sustainably by helping with childcare costs. Research consistently indicates minimal to no negative impact on work incentives, often empowering parents to stay employed. It's not about encouraging dependence, it's about providing the stability and resources necessary for parents to thrive in the workforce and raise their families. And finally, myth number 5: the child tax credit amounts and rules are permanent and always the same. Absolutely busted. We saw how quickly the CTC changed from 2020 to 2021, and how David now makes it a point to stay updated. This is a dynamic policy. Your biggest takeaway should be to actively seek out the latest information every tax season. Don't rely on outdated news or hearsay. Your family's financial well-being depends on staying current with the facts. Now that you're armed with the truth, what's next? Don't just watch this video and forget. First, if you have children, check your eligibility for the child tax credit on the IRS website or consult a tax professional. Second, share this video. Help us bust these myths for other families who might be missing out on crucial support. The power to change lives, to ease financial burdens, starts with accurate information. You have the knowledge, now empower yourself and your community. The child tax credit is more than just a line item on a tax form. It's a testament to the idea that our society values families and wants to provide a foundation for children to thrive. It's about creating hope, stability, and opportunity. By understanding it, by challenging the myths, we unlock its full potential. Maria and David's stories are just 2 examples of how knowledge can transform anxiety into relief, and struggle into stability. This isn't just about taxes, it's about the future of our children and the well-being of our communities. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the child tax credit. We hope this analysis has not only busted some myths but also empowered you with valuable insights. If you found this video helpful, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into complex financial topics, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next myth-busting adventure. Your engagement helps us reach more people and spread crucial financial literacy. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep making smart financial moves.